Welcome! We are now in module number 9 of our series, Maintenance from Zero to World Class. We are going to talk today about very important aspects of the mechanic technician profession. We want people to become more and more professional all the time. And one of the main issues that we face quite frequently is that people have not been given the opportunity to train and to learn and to evolve into a professional level. And that is something very critical. So in order for our company or our group to reach world-class performance, it is important to have the right team, the right people in our team, right? Well, mechanics are no exception. We want them to improve as well. Now, one critical part here is I received this suggestion came from a gentleman in Mexico in a petrochemical company. And we will see about the several features that a technician needs to perform in order to comply with the needs that we have, right? Okay, so all mechanics should keep up to date in terms of the technologies. Do you think that technologies have changed in the last few years or in the last few days? Right, they are changing all the time, and therefore also the methods to apply maintenance are changing all the time. They have now, our mechanics, the opportunity to learn and become more skilled all the time. And that is something very useful for them. So it is critical that they do so, because the real trend of the world-class maintenance is for people to become multi-skilled, meaning that they can not only do their job as a good mechanic, but also have some knowledge, each time more knowledge on other specialties and other trades. So that is the trend, and that's going to happen. It's going to happen like it or not. So what we want is for everybody to learn those new skills. And to learn those new skills, it is critical that we understand that all the companies that have reached world class, and I know a few of them, they all are taking care are taking care of the equipment by people who are more and more skilled all the time. Yeah. So no longer a mechanic needs to wait for an electrician to unplug the machine, or to disconnect this limit switch, or to reconnect to this limit switch. Small things like those, you know. No longer they need to wait for an electrician or for a welder or for a pipe fitter just to do something minor. So that is what I am talking about. So in many cases, I have seen mechanics learning how to weld, and they do it pretty good. I have 2 or 3 cases where they are very, very skilled. Now, this is true for every trade. It is not only mechanics need to learn other trades, but everyone else must learn mechanics as well. This is going to be a very beautiful sharing of our skills and abilities, so that everybody can become more valuable. Because finally, that's what we all want, to become more valuable. Now, here are the expectations for a mechanics to be professional. Reading blueprints, of course, recognize sizes of bolts, nuts, wrenches, avoid the use of sub-professional crescent or adjustable wrenches, as some that I'm going to show you in a moment. Have screwdrivers that are appropriate for each use. Keep those tools in perfect shape. understand the technology behind every machine, or at least most of the machines that they have in plant, know the principles of lubrication, produce perfect alignments between components, detect when equipment is imbalanced, or there are noises that are unacceptable, and of course, this is very important, participate in root cause analysis. Now here is the tools that I promised to show you. If you see a mechanic that calls himself a mechanic using a wrench like this, don't trust that person very much. This is a sub-professional tool. You should be using this. You should be using this, and of course many other socket wrenches, and in some cases even torque wrenches, so that we do our job more professionally. Absolutely. Now, mechanics will also contribute enormously to our autonomous maintenance process. Remember, autonomous maintenance has been so important in the last few years because this way people get involved into preserving the equipment, right? So they will improve their communication with operators, other customers, not only operators, the leaders in manufacturing. Everybody who uses the services of maintenance, they are our customers, and we want to make sure that we have good communication with them. Ask for their input, especially if there was a failure in equipment. Ask them if they perceived some noise, if they are changing some issues, perhaps changing materials. This happens very frequently. Some material changes and you're not told about that, and then you get there and the machine is not performing as it was, and nothing apparently has happened. Well, sometimes it's the material. We must make sure that we learn from them, learn about everything in their comments, in their observations, even in their suggestions sometimes, okay? Teach them something all the time. Every time that you perform a service, a mechanical service in a machine, make sure that you are teaching them something, even if a little bit, and ask them for their help when you need. Hey, will you be able to hold this for me here? Can you push that for me? Things like those, so that they become involved in the maintenance process. That's wonderful. We should be doing that. Ask for their help every time you can. And assure that they learn from what they are doing. Assure that you thank them for their help and make sure that they learn something, because that is the key element here. Now, establish dialogues with other trades. When you are in the shop, when you are talking to your peers in maintenance, talk to the electrician, talk to the pipe fitter, talk to the welder. Try to learn something from them, and try for them to learn something from you as well. Exchange of knowledge is the best business that exists, okay? So team up with them whenever it is possible. Try to do that all the time. Other source of knowledge is quite frequently talking to the vendors of new equipment, vendors of tools, vendors of materials that we use, like bearings, chains, hoses, all that. Try to learn from everybody, because it's going to come handy for you. It's going to be very, very positive in your evolution into a professional mechanic that is required to go world class. Remember, in our next module, in module number 10, we are going to talk about electricians, and that's important. And actually, all these talks are going to be for everybody, for mechanics, for electricians, for pipe fitters, for welders. We are going to try to make sure that everybody understands each other and helps each other. It is fun to be learning, absolutely. It is really good, and it can become a culture. We want it to become a culture, the culture of learning from each other. So good learning, my friends. I will see you here in module number 10.